Good afternoon, my dear students. Myself, Dr. Girish Goyal, Assistant Professor, Department of Agronomy, School of Agriculture, IIT University, Gwalior. Students, I hope you all are good and stay at home safely. मैं आशा करता हूँ आप सभी लोग घर पे होंगे, सुरक्षित होंगे. Students, today I am going to start our subject Principle and Practices of Water Management. First semester MSc Soil Science and Agriculture Chemistry. Students, so let's start our topic about water sources of India. Okay, so students, I will introduce all content one by one. And first content, some introduction. Second, water resources in India. Next, surface water resources. Next, groundwater sources. Next, groundwater sources in India. And then references. Okay. So students, before starting the topic, I want to telling you about some general information of water sources. Okay. So students, water resources, do you think that what exit today will we continue to be so or the future is going to be different in some aspects? Students, it can be said that some increasingly that the societies will witness and demographic and tendencies in the graphological shift of the population. Students, technical advertisement and the environmental and water secrecy. Students, water secrecy of the possibility to pose the greatest challenges on account of its increased deemed coupled with the and the shaking six due to over utilization and population. Students, water is and cycled resources with the and the abundant supplies on the global. Approximately 71% of the earth surface of covered with it, but fresh water constitute only about 3% of the total water. Students, in fact, a very small proportion of the fresh water is effectively available for human use. The availability of fresh water varies over space and the time. Students, the tension and the dispute on the sharing and control of these scarce resources are becoming issue among countries. Students, reason and the state the assessment efficient use and conservation of water therefore become necessary to ensure development. In this chapter we shall discuss water sources in the India, its geographical distribution and the control and the utilization and the method of its conservation and management. So we research water sources of India. Students, water sources of India. India accounts for about 2.45% of world's. Students, surface surface area 4% of the world water resources and about 16% of world's population. Students, the total water available from and precipitation in the country in a year is about 400 cubic kilometer. The availability from surface water is the and the repleted in the water ground is 1 1.869 cube per kilometer. Students, out of this only 60% can be put to and beneficial usage. Those the total and uh, usable water sources in the country is only 1000 1122 cube per kilometer. Students, water surface water resources. Students, there are four major sources of the surface water. These are river, lake, ponds and tanks. Students, in the country there are about 10,360 rivers, and there and the uh, tributes longer than 1.6 kilometer each. Okay, so students, this is general information of water resources. Okay, so first है students introduction. फर्स्ट कंटेंट हमारा इंट्रोडक्शन. ओके, सो स्टूडेंट्स, वाटर इज़ लाइफ. ये सबको पता है, जल ही जीवन है. सभी को पता है वाटर इज़ लाइफ मीन्स जल ही जीवन है. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, वाटर इज़ लाइफ. इट इज़ ए unique natural resources among all sources available on earth. No life form can be sustained without water on the planet. Students, it is essential for all the important activities like food production, industries like energy production and manufacturing. Students, out of all the water available on the earth, 97% of water is saline, and is okay, 3% of water is the fresh water available in rivers. Steam and students, following graph show the earth's water distribution. Student, this is figure. Okay, the saline groundwater 0.93%, saline lakes 0.07%. This follow fresh water. This surface water and other fresh water. Okay, so this is figure. Next, students, water resources in India. Okay, students, water resources of a country and the constitute one of its vital assets. Students, India rivers receives annual and precipitation of about 4,000 kilometer per cube. Students, the rainfall in the rainfall in the the rainfall in the show very high septal and the temporal variability and products of the situation in the near Cherrapunji, which rivers receives the highest rainfall in the world, also suffers from a shortage of water during the non-rainy season almost every every year. Students, the total annual and replenishable groundwater sources are assessed as 432 432 kilometer square. With rapid swing population and improving living standards, the pressure on our water sources is increasing and per capita ability of water sources is reducing day by day. Students, India is gifted then with a river system and comprising more than 20 major rivers with several tributes. Students, this snow and ice melt of the Himalaya and the waves flow that contribute the flows during the lean season. Students, apart from the water available in the various rivers of the country, the groundwater is also an important source of water for drinking, irrigation, industrial uses, etc. Students, it accounts for about 80% of domestic water requirement and more than 45% of the total irrigation in the country. So, students, this is water sources in India. नेक्स्ट कंटेंट था हमारा स्टूडेंट्स. इसी में स्टूडेंट्स है स्टूडेंट्स, एज पर द इंटरनेशनल नॉर्म्स इज पर कैपिटा वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी is less than 1700 meter cube per year, then the country is categorized as water stays at and if it is less than 1000 meter cube per capita per year, then the country is classified as water scarce. Students, India per capita surface water availability in the year 1991 and 2001. Year two, year 2309 and 1902 meter cube, and these are projected to reduce to 1401 and 1991 meter cube by the years 2025 and 2050 respectively. Students, water sources can be classified into two. They are first surface water resources and second water groundwater resources. Okay, so first of all, surface water resources. So students, surface water resources India is the least with an average annual rainfall of about 1194 mm. However, the country is not evenly spread both in time and space, with the result flood, drought, flood syndromes still present. Students, as much as 95 to 90% of the rainfall is received only in the southwest monsoon season of June to October. Students, it is that during the four rainy month of June to September, the Arabian Sea branch of the monsoon carries. Students, much amounting to about 770 million hectare meters, and the waste of venial branch about 340 million hectare meters of water. So students, this is surface water resources. Second है groundwater resources. Students, groundwater sources of the annual precipitation of 400 million hectare meters. About 215 million hectare meters has been estimated to soak into the ground. Students, as such as 165 million hectare meters is related as soil moisture and is used by vegetation. Those living only 50 million hectare meters, 12.5% of the total, and precipitation for the country as a whole to reach the groundwater table. Students, the central ground water board puts the annual and acceptable groundwater potential at 43.3 million hectare meter. Students, presently the groundwater utilization is about 12.8 million hectare meters, and here again a major portion of 85% is being used for irrigation, in the remaining going for other uses. So this is groundwater resources. This is figure water availability. Okay students, water availability this is figure format. Okay, जो आपको स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा होगा. Okay, so present per capita water availability 1700 meter cube per year. Okay, so students, वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी जैसा कि अभी आपको मैंने बताया, दिस इज वाटर स्टेज लेवल एंड वाटर स्केर्स लेवल. ओके, so this is figure. Next students, groundwater resources in India. Okay, so students, first है total please avail groundwater resources. कितना स्टूडेंट 3432 432 मीन्स मतलब है स्टूडेंट्स का क्वान्टिटी किलोमीटर क्यूब पर ईयर कितना है 332. सेकेंड है प्रोविजन फॉर डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रियल एंड अदर यूजेज 71 किलोमीटर क्यूब पर ईयर. थर्ड है अवेलेबल ग्राउंड वाटर सोर्सेज फॉर इरीगेशन 361. फिर है स्टूडेंट यूटिलाइजेबल ग्राउंड वाटर सोर्सेज फॉर इरीगेशन 325. एंड फिफ्थ है टोटल यूटिलाइजेबल ग्राउंड वाटर सोर्सेज 330. 96 kilometer cube per year. Okay, so student, this groundwater sources in India. Okay, so students, then references. Okay, uh, so thank you. So student, this topic is finished. Okay, water resources of India. So दिस टॉपिक इज़ फिनिश. आई होप आप इसे अच्छे से, इसका इंटरेक्टिव लेक्चर अच्छे से सुनेंगे, अच्छे से समझेंगे. ओके, तो काफ़ी अच्छा टॉपिक है वाटर रिसोर्सेज ऑफ इंडिया. ओके, सो दिस टॉपिक इज़ फिनिश स्टूडेंट्स. ओके, थैंक यू स्टूडेंट्स.